3 poems. 1. The Unveiling. In the gullet of sallow rivers, where muddled pebbles, bathed in mooned craters, scoff at powerless tides, I trudge with sodden shoes through the haunted groin of earth, where ghosts of mirrored maidens, fecund as stream-fed salmon, reflect their lusty and long-gone lads. In the funneled autumn's leaves they sing, like feathered moss, sipping the night's moistness, dreaming the maples, honeyed nut seeds, blooming in their loins, bloated spores spinning through space, bearing life to distant worlds, tongued yearnings in the gleaming eyes of owls, spectral in the morned mist, under the now high sun, over the clipped country lanes, spinning like wet plates, through dusty rooms, to shatter on bruised hills, the giggling ghosts, spinning in their hiked skirts and red-ripped stockings, laid low in grained pastures of rough passion by loud and sullen boys, veiling the size of fast-growing corn in weed-stifled fields. Time was the pebbled buskers, rowed their sleek canoes down sly, twisted rivers, waving sidelong the errant clouds. Across the starlit bouquet, the tongues of cowed bells, swinging moonlit in the milky music, stuck fast and quick to thorned fences, all the while the horses, whinnies, the whimpering women, with their darned socks on dry stones, praying for wet rains and a windy deliverance. In baptisms of kept daffodils, the machinations of fools, in spent weather, on the gilded alabaster staircase of the boned mansion, a sepulchral bride emerges to feign forgotten steps of ancient gavots, in sallied gardens, courted by scented suitors in dark corridors, crumhorns braying in the hedgehog distance. Milady, dost thou not wish to sleep forevermore? Return now to the nectar-sipping, dream-honeyed women, dripping sapped apples from broad-bosomed branches into the wide throats of willing boys, the pastel-painted and ponied boys, the lisping, grasping, turned-out boys, forever on the cusp of dream. Go to them, my bestial, blessed, and battered bride, my wan and lonely love, to skate over sundials, to skate over sundials, to fork and pitch over waist-coated clocks, stuffed by finger-blistered hands in polyester pockets, dropping all the while breadcrumbs from curiously perpendicular precipices of dream. Truth there is in the mirrored ether, seasons all in the sleep-spun globe. Saddle now, my child, the wind-swept seahorse to the milky horizon, golden raiments beneath your schoolgirl frocks, to the godson sailors with their crisscrossed oars, paddling barra-blue boats to the leering baptism of mancied lust in the apple-green forest of the clockless land. Tides then, thick and teeming with crustacean ardor, cosseted in spun sheets of silk and seaweed, ecstasy of insects on the pebbled beaches of dream. For here is eternity, ingrained in hourglassed sands and second comings of riders over rough waves on propitious voyages to calm seas under dreamt clouds, centered in the funneled bowels of earth and seeding the golden starry Here the self implodes to reveal the fiery twins in God's belly fused, the nerved thread that worms and warms, the fierce brain and once bleached heart, the attire of Aphrodite after a fashion, riding sidelong and love strain, the long-tailed and milk-white comet, to the fully furnaced entrails of the warm-gushing star. I stand here on common and silted shore, in tattered robe of rotted flannel, inhaling the drunken fumes of your fragrant future, trembling violent and dressed to be killed. It is I who has borne this goddess, this eternity, this trapped block of pulsing spacetime, ricocheting over and above. The winged and puny chariots of long forgotten idols look back but once from your charmed throne, for once is ever and again, for all time which crumbles in clouds of dust and ash, to naked eyes which cannot see beyond the lying horizon. Kupfer's belt and the deep-pocketed watches, the limit of our sight, is the baseline of our eternity. Your home, my brownied and starved child, which you have never left, and to which you now return. For the very first time, the universe becomes you. 3. A moonlit tale. It is a moonlit tale of oases misplaced in pebbled beaches, of thirst slaked by oblivious snowflakes, melting on puddled boats, oared by gray men over steaming lakes, where sad birds whisper windy secrets in green weeds. Incensed dreams cross the frosted moors, licked lips and bolted doors, stealthy cries of bruised babes in windswept treetops. He kneels naked in prayer by the breached beaver's dams, sullen distress sprung with muddled hope, muffled howls and bold beseechings, drifting through snowed globes, baptized stagnant in the mossed pond, goosebumped and jostled by the haunted calls of indignant ducks sorely lost on certain shores. Grief it was through the glassed and darkened waters, now quickened with minnowed life, and purloined fires in the gravelled groin, gnawed wish and searing need of bone and flesh. To despair is to drown viscous and parched beneath silted waters, upon which floats hope's slumbering lotus, to arise through a fault to the man he would be, fed under blankets of snow-cornered wheat, where melting tongues of bells sing siren songs in mad squalls, tipped cradles in drooped branches through the fogged night, furious prayers of believers lost in morning's alarm, waiting for grails, spoon-fed and drowned, in rivers screaming, ice banking, mouths kissing, the puckered earth in the swarmed sea. Outcast no longer, he appears at the window of loss, opaquely pained by God, by man's self made transparent, the wintry bark of lost days, in the last short days of longed for love, spurned and pinned, wriggling on soiled boats, setting sights on unborn sons. He tacks his winded thumbs to the sky, wrestling peacefully the papered and silvery moon, trailing golden in the mired apples, the planed fruit of great expectations, the worsted hymns of bestial women left behind. It is a right moonlit tale, flesh not yet dying in the whirlpooled eyes of posh brides, shot through with incensed spices of old cisterns, well heated by wrinkled siblings. In times of war, he waits upon tabled draughts, seeking warm rains and dreading famine, tumbling in the downed tongue of the feathered palate. It is a blood-rosed and moonlit tale, the crooked heart-songs of thorned owls in spent winds, while calm waters babble on streamed eddies of fluorescent spring, the summer days of well-hooded boys, sparked lightnings in the straits of time's sundialed tale. It is his time now. The dewed stars and hounds bounding glistened and burnished, the strung vials courting high and dogging, the plucked leaves of autumn's thieving consort, the tuned breezes caressing the mute mouths of cleft rocks, the dead at peace. It is a resting and moonlit tale. Then the battered wings of the fitful bride, the hardened screech of the maiden's heart, rammed sheepish through memory's pyramid, the regiming twilight eyes of the owl bent low and crouching, to be hunting born in exultant flight, the farm mice scurrying like necklace dancers, hung from jeweled hooks in captured quarters, of bootlegged foghorns, there on the chipped shoulder of an albatross, he devours the fanged and loomed fruit of love, foul fishers of men's desires, flying vaulted through cathedrals, stained in appalled glass, applauded by shrouded beggars in tented cities, abused by stunted priests in tainted pews, with ravened poles and sheepcloth robes, the owlish prayers of bird-like men, with talons chosen at the wolfish altar, false intruders into time's misted terrors, rats poisoned and picked clean by sheltered boys, embalmed in urns turned grievous by freshly dug graves. It is a graven and moonlit tale. Scowls now the blasted bride at the praying bird, the craven images of thrift-spent stars, at all but the brined boy, hell-bent bobbing the green-appled surface to cheat death, seeking all the while heat in misspent ills, and the fiery speeches of bleached birds. Here now this tale winds greased like a serpent's kiss on a ledged tree, to swallow its checkered genesis with a rude belch. Now the snaked lips clasp nuptial branches black-winged and fearsome, collide and collapse ashen in vanished footsteps. Crushed owls scour the morning gutted landscape. Tendrils of tamped flames sputter belly up in charred forests. On him dawns now the day reckoned promise, nursed and burned in the slashed creche of the feathered sun, scorched retinas in the soiled eyes of prayer-wakened whores, the lonely hearts of broad-bossomed nuns beating in the crested earth. Stately stands the spectral owl, hunger slaked and radiant, warming gentle the nested young, ears back and bathed in dawn's songs of winged choirs, mourned by great suns in horned and tufted resurrections, heaven's bridegroom in grace and groin, curved wholly in odd flight through the spinning air. Meantimes the moon-white woman, drunk dark, literal as starlight, and impaled now on stunned scimitars, dons the brined bridal robes, straddles the gently hooded and crotched man, up the downed and feathered staircase, to the ill-gated gardens of fast-pebbled soils, left unsallied by the unseen and righteous God. Hail the thrice-breasted and wizened men. Comes now the life-bearing and sun-streaked comet's tail.